Joshi Kulkarni. My today's topic is organizational effectiveness. Comes under the module 1 part 2 of organizational behavior subject. This is organizational effectiveness. Organizational effectiveness is a concept that measures how thoroughly and efficiently a company achieves its business goals. An effective organization runs like a well designed, well oiled machine. Its moving parts function smoothly to produce the results the business set out to achieve with minimal wasted resources or the time. What is organizational effectiveness? Organizational effectiveness refers to how an organization has achieved full self awareness due in part to leaders, leaders setting well defined goals for the employees and outlining ways to efficiently execute those goals. Management implementing clear decision making processes and communication pipelines. Engaged employees who are carefully selected and fairly compensated, producing work that prioritizes result. 5 ways leaders can produce long-term organizational effectiveness. First one is strategy, metrics, commitment, behaviors, and culture. Let's see one by one. First one is strategy. Before discussing strategy, let's see this video. It makes easy to understand what is strategy. As you saw in this video, here strategy is made by the lions. Lion is the only one animal um, which know the teamwork and strategy. It is very good at making strategy to catch the prey. These lions work as a team as if the football players work, make the strategy to win. Similarly, the football players work as the lions work as a team. So in this picture, the lions are making a strategy. Three lions together are working to catch this buffalo. Why they are making strategies? The buffalo's weight is 6 times larger than one lion. So three lions are working together here. See, two lions are attacking from the front from both sides so that it will not escape from that side. When it comes backward, then another lion is there. This lion will catch this so that successfully they can catch the prey without an error. They should catch that buffalo in a one attempt. This is what the strategy the lions are using this in this video. This is what a strategy. When our power is less than the opponent power, then we have to use a strategy to win over the enemy. As in the business, we use a strategy to win our competitors. We have to use tricks, strategies to win over the competitors in the business. So let's discuss strategy as organization point of view or the business point of view. Strategy involves shifting an organization's central identity, how leaders describe its purpose and goals both internally and externally. Internally to the employees and externally to outside world to get orders from the outside, to include the effectiveness and efficiency as core values. The more your company is known to be effective and efficient by both the market and your employees, the more these values will be built into every new project and the goal. For example, Tata helped uh, in India uh, during the COVID-19 time. They provided the oxygen and they also funded for providing oxygen for every patient in, in India. This gave them uh, the Tata value. This value motivated people to buy the Tata vehicles, Tata products. This will give you another way the value to the organization. This brings the efficiency and effectiveness of the employees and willingness of the employees to work in such a prestigious company. Their efficiency will be increased by this. They are motivated and happy to work in such an organization. Organizational effectiveness should simplify and clarify long-term objectives for the company. It should not be complex. They should be simple and easy to understand. Clearer these objectives are outlined at the strategic level, the easier it is to translate across departments. Next topic for discussion is here is next point is metrics. Measuring organizational effectiveness through metrics can help organizations stay accountable. You can keep account of every detail of a single rupees going in and out and every activity jobs going in the organization and outside. But choosing the right data to measure as well as knowing when to price human judgment and discussion over hard analytics is just as important. A few questions to help your organization get started should include: what concrete goals are your team working toward? Are they clearly outlined by the team leaders? How and at what intervals will progress be evaluated? What are the measures? Common measures used for measuring success or the organizational effectiveness are break-even point. What is meant by break-even point? It is a point at which the cost and the sales are equal. That is called the break even point. There is no profit or the no loss. You incurred the cost invested in producing that, you took out the same return. That is called the break even point. Next is the net income ratio. What is net income you are incurring this year? Monthly recurring revenue, monthly how much you are recurring from that product. And customers are the metrics, the measure of success here. And employee satisfaction, that is also important matrix while measuring the organizational effectiveness. Next is commitment, how you should be committed to your organization. Let's see this video. In this video, it is a clip from the movie Red Sparrow, in which these are employees are trained as for the commitment to the country. They are um, trained like CIA agents. These are agents. How much commitment is expected from them is being told by the leader to their subordinates. They are training them to commit to the country. Coming to the country is different. Committing to the organization is different. Committing to the country, you have to giving up your own pride to the country. But in the organization, that much is not required. At least you should be committed to your organization, and organization's goals should be above your individual goals. You should place them. Sometimes there is a necessity of uh, giving up your individual goal for the organization is necessary. That is important also because of the survival and success of the organization. That is required in the commitment. Let's see uh, what is commitment. The strong executive sponsorship is the single most important factor for this success and the most often cited reason for failure when things go off track. The Bain and Company says this says that strong sponsorship. That means the, the producer of the company, the proprietor of the company should be ready to invest freely while starting up that business. This is where everybody fail because at the initial stages they don't have that much equity or the funding to start the company. This is the reason for the failure of the companies that the Ben and the company. This commitment, this financial commitment is sponsorship commitment is required for the success of the organization. The authors stress that visible and credible commitment to effectiveness policies from the senior leaders in company-wide communications and hiring approaches, all the way down to how quarterly budget meetings are conducted, creates a trickle-down effect across the organization. How the audits are conducted, and how the company-wide communication and hiring approaches are going on, and there should not be communication gaps. This is a visible and credible commitment to the organization. Next is the behavior, how you should behave in the organization. There is a specific way you should behave in the organization. Let's take one small video for the example. Let's watch this video. Yes, in this video, here handshaking example is given. More things are there to behavior. It's your dressing and your standing posture, body gestures, and hand movements all shows your confidence in you. That that the way you present yourself, it's very important. That's the comes in with behavior. Here in this video, we show the shake hand, not more than hold the hand firmly. Do that properly, then you get as a shy, or you are not willing to communicate with them, or you are not willing to business with them. There should be first communication skill you should learn for your behavior in organizations are there. Stop here the video and let's discuss you. Behavior. Meanwhile, recurring behavior, again and again repeated same behavior, the efforts to achieve organization are more likely to break down. Whenever some of us, the person, not from the organization. Let's take example for interview. Anybody saw him first should speak to him, welcome him, organization, and ask him for tea. Have you had a breakfast? Every it's the responsibility of every employee. You should not the manager job. He called him for an interview to him. You should of behavior. You should behave proper way. Even if he's not a clean department man, he should also be taught to every employee of the organization. And it's the responsibility of the manager the employee from starting top the lower level employees to speak to everyone organization. This is also one of the organization behavior. Next, identifying specific decision making movements, a day to day operation of communicating the ways employees ought to be changed in those moments and then for reinforcement in incentivizing those choices can build a much healthier organization that policies own effectiveness. Culture. What's this culture? In this example, we saw the Indian culture. All of us are Indians, we values this culture. But what is organizational culture? As every organization, suppose it's the Infosys, should have its own culture, organization culture. Why it is required? Yes, it is very important to have particular organization, the employees from this organization. Some common behavior should be observed in the employee of that organization. But it should have some common characteristics, and this should be taught when while inducing that employee to the organization and mold him in such a way that we should identify from their behavior and the culture we should say that yeah this guy is from info, that's why this man is having this culture. We should identify by their culture such a way that the organization set up its own culture. What is culture? See, if we repeat doing the same thing every day, let's consider if we take bath every day, that's become a habit. If you repeat it same thing for a month, then you repeat it for years and 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, 60 years, then the same thing is being repeatedly done by your children, then it becomes culture. Good habits inhabited within you for a long period of a time becomes your culture. Such a good habits which benefits the organization should be built by and the organization within the employees, and it should be highlighted in their behavior. That's a culture. Let's discuss culture. Finally, the degree to which employees are enthusiastically engaged. Enthusiastically is very important. This shows how much that employee is involved and engaged in every task. This culture shows that employees happy in the organization. That shows good organization to make a business with at work determines how effective their work will be done. If employees are working longer time in these organizations, suppose more than 5 years, more than 10 years, they are in the same organization, that shows the stability of the management of that organization, culture of the organization. This makes the other person, the who is going to do business with you, they make them believe that they are reliable, this is a reliable company and consistent, and they are consistent managing the organization. This shows their culture, organization culture. Therefore, creating an organization culture that values effectiveness is countless studies from the business consulting firms have underlined the correlation between employee engagement and overall organizational performance. Employee engagement in every task of the organization, from starting entering into the organization to taking responsibilities on their head, it shows the organizational performance and it affects the organizational performance and its success. Off cited Gallup findings just that unengaged workers are costing employers at least a third of those workers' wage, and overall could be costing the US economy over 600 billion lost productivity. Those who are unengagement, those who are actively not participating in every task of the organization will bring loss to the company. That is one third of the workers' wages. This loss they are incurring the company. For example, US economy costing 600 billion loss incurred due to these unengaged workers. So engagement of the workers in jobs or the activities is very important in the organization culture. So here the end of the discussion. If you like my video, you want to see the further videos, please subscribe my channel and please press the bell button.